Music is more than just sound. It's emotion, connection, and a force that shapes our world. From uplifting melodies to deep, resonant beats, music has the power to heal, inspire, and bring people together. Caitlyn Kamminga is a music teacher at UTT. Together with her husband and family, she has relocated from the UK to Trinidad to teach an instrument that is unfamiliar to many locals: the double bass.
Music is incredibly powerful. It can be a form of therapy. It can inspire us. It can calm us. It can create joy. It can tap into memories. We know there's all kinds of research about music and people with Alzheimer's, with dementia, where deep memories are kind of picked out with snippets of song. Music can put you in a time and a place. It can serve as a form of therapy for grief. It has numerous powers. In my own life, it's been my job, but it's also been a great source of joy. I think that the research on the power of music is a fascinating one. It's not something that I feel like I specialize in, but I have my own experiences and my own experiences with students on watching the power of music. I'll give you a great little story. So I run a course called Community Recital, where students match their art skills with needs in the community, and then they go out and they perform in a variety of different settings. So last year, one of my students went to a home for the elderly out in the Arima. It's an underserved population of older people with a variety of different illnesses and challenges. And there was a woman in the audience in a wheelchair who I later learned had been a member of the Trinidadian volleyball team. She also had been an incredible dancer, and she was very frail and very tiny and in her wheelchair, and her arm was right on the on the arm of the wheelchair. And really we had been advised that she doesn't do much. And we started to play, and there was a particular calypso that just fed her soul. And her fingers started tapping, and she started to dance a little in her chair. And it was such a wonderful example of the power of music. My love for music, I think, began before my memories began. music surrounded me in my life. My father is a professional musician. My stepmother is a professional cellist. My father's a horn player, and my mother is a very accomplished pianist and flautist. Music was just in the house. We sang in the car. We sang at school. There were instruments at home. So I wouldn't say it was something that grew. It was just a big part of our life, and it was a joyful part of our life. There were talent shows that I was involved in. I wrote an arrangement of the Muppet Show. I don't know if you remember that show. That was a big one when I was growing up, and got all my friends to play clarinet, and I played piano. We used to sing. My dad had a little crush on Diana Ross. We used to sing Ain't No Mountain High Enough at the top of our lungs in the car. It just was all around us. My first dream really was to play in the very best orchestra that I possibly could, and hopefully to be principal of that orchestra. My first job was in the New Orleans Symphony, which later became the Louisiana Philharmonic, which is owned and run by its own musicians. It's also the orchestra where my father started, and in the city that I was born in. And so my first job there was as a section bass player, and I moved up through the section. So I was there for 3 years. My second year, I was assistant principal, and my third year, I won the position of principal double bass. As I've grown older, I've really realized that my favorite place to sit is assistant principal. I'm more of a team player. I'm very capable sitting principal, but I either like to be one bass in an ensemble where I'm in charge of myself, or I like to sit assistant where I'm part of a team and getting the job done. But that was my initial dream, was to play in the best orchestra I possibly could. At the age of 40, and I don't know if it was becoming a mother or just having accomplished a certain amount in my life, but I really had spent a long time investing in thinking about what other people thought I should want for myself. And so it was auditioning for the next best job and the next best chair and to be principal of an orchestra. And I kind of woke up one day and it didn't feel like enough for me. And I started imagining at that point in my life what was most important to me and what was meaningful to me. And there's a very famous Buddhist saying, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. You know, opportunities, doors open when you're ready for them to open. And it was right around that time that a colleague of ours, a former teacher of my husband's, who had become a colleague of ours, got offered the opportunity to help set up a new academy for the performing arts in Trinidad and Tobago. And it happened to be a particularly brutal winter in England where the sun was coming up at 10 and going down at 2, and it was raining and it was cold, and he called me from a train. My husband called me from a train heading up north and said, so there's this opportunity in the Caribbean, in Trinidad. And I said, yes, let's go. It sounds awesome. So I think, I was ready for the opportunity, and my husband and I have lived in a variety of different settings, and I think because we had kind of an eclectic career, we were of interest to people in Trinidad. I was born in New Orleans. I was raised in Minneapolis. My first job was in New Orleans. My second job was in Hong Kong. My third job was in the UK, working in Wales. I'm from a lot of places, and when people ask me where home is, I always say it's where Aiden and the boys are. We make our home where we are, and as artists, you go where the work is. But coming here, we moved here from London, and I used to think of coming here almost as if that, I don't know if you ever watched The Wizard of Oz, but the whole beginning is in black and white, and London was kind of, I imagine it in kind of black and white and sepia tones, and it was like that moment in The Wizard of Oz where the door opens and suddenly it's in full Technicolor. Everything about Trinidad is big and lush and colorful and noisy and provocative, and so it's just enriched my life in so many ways. I still love going back home, but home for me really is where I live now. I feel like I've been adopted by Trinidad, and This is what we all consider to be our home now. One of the things I love most about Trinidad is, even though racism exists here, people really have a genuine appreciation for each other's cultures and each other's festivals. In Trinidad, when it's Christmas, you say Merry Christmas. And when it's Eid, you say Eid Mubarak. And when it's Diwali, you say Shab Diwali. And everybody celebrates everybody's festivals and enjoys them. I think one of the great joys of being a teacher is that you are also a learner yourself. I teach a course called Education in Performing Arts, and I've kind of made it into my own course where we spend the first third deconstructing our own experiences in the classroom. We spend the second third of that course constructing a 21st century vision for what we want to see in the classroom. And then the third part is designing an arts integrated unit. But it's that first part of that class where the students are deconstructing their own experiences that I learned so much. It's very important for a teacher to make sure, first of all, that what you're teaching the student is something that the student wants to learn, and that you're helping them open the doors that they want to open, not the doors that you think they should open. So one thing that's important is to show them other doors, but not tell them which door to open. So I would really say to my students, remember that when you're teaching, you're also a student yourself. You're a student of life, and that you're there to learn from your students and be guided by them. So I'm really appreciative of all the years that I've had with my Trinidadian students, how much I've learned from them, and look forward to many more years of it.